Hi, I'm Morgan O'Brien. I'm here from IBM Rational Services Group, and I'm here with some of my colleagues to tell you about an interesting customer story we have. So here joining me today are Daryl Rader. Daryl, you want to say hello?
Hi, everyone. Glad to be here.
Okay, thanks, Daryl. And then I've also got Steve Coutinho here with us. Want to say hi, Steve, and introduce yourself?
Hi, Morgan. Hi, Daryl. I'm a consultant in the Rational brand. My focus over the last year has been helping our clients implement deployment solutions using UrbanCode products.
Okay, great. Well, thanks for joining us here today, both of you. I appreciate that. And why don't you jump right in and tell us a little bit how'd the story start? What went on?
Okay. This particular client is in the travel industry, and they had purchased about a week's worth of consulting to have them come in. They had already had the product. They realized they needed to make some changes architecturally to support deployments and more gradual type of deployments, what they wanted to do. So they had us come in after doing some of those architectural changes. They made them smaller modules to be able to deploy. And some of the challenges they had, they didn't have much stuff. They had most of their things were manual process, and they had some custom scripts. So I wanted to help them get up to speed on using UrbanCode Deploy to automate that. And then also, one of their main challenges too that they had was doing P1 deployments to production. So the main purpose for me coming in there was more or less to get them up to speed on the tool, so they would understand the capabilities of UrbanCode Deploy. So I spent some time kind of reviewing their application, kind of understand what the technologies they had, and then I had them identify some key modules. It was a SOA application, so a service-oriented architecture. So they picked 3 different key areas, and I helped them put those into what's called a component template in UrbanCode Deploy, so they get reuse out of it, and mentored them, showed them how to do that. Also showed them and did some training and mentoring of their admin folks to show them how to use the snapshot feature that would help them deploy those P1 changes into production confidently.
Wow, sounds very interesting. And I'm sure introducing and getting them acclimated to UrbanCode was pretty exciting for them if they had been used to doing a lot of manual work. So I'm sure it was a great product for them to hear about and learn about. So tell us then, what were the results of the support that you gave them? How did they like the solution, and what were the benefits they saw?
Well, so taking those 3 component templates we had, so kind of using one of our best practices of creating component templates that allows you to reuse, they were able to create 50 other components based on those 3 and then deploy in a test environment, which they were real happy to see how they could deploy things quickly and support their application. It was a WebLogic application as service-oriented architecture. I also helped them model the resources in UrbanCode Deploy to help reduce and facilitate the reuse of the resources and also reduce maintenance. So the benefit they had seen.
Okay, wow. So then is there any quantifiable results that the customer saw, a reduction in their time spent or resources in supporting the solution?
Yeah, there's definitely we didn't have any measurements at this point. Part of this was to help them get the speed with the tool, but they definitely saw a reduction in time, big time savings for them. As I mentioned, a lot of it was done manually before, and there were certain custom scripts. But now that they had it automated, and they only had to write the automation, for these 3 particular modules, or 3 different types of modules once, right? And they were able to easily reproduce or create 50 other modules of that type, and then deploy those. And we actually went through that test case so they could see that. So they saw a great increase in speed in deployment.
So Steve, just as you were talking, one of the questions I had was, how long did this all take? I mean, from the point where they were doing manual, all of this manually, to the point where you had them up and running and them starting to see these benefits. What kind of time frame do we look for?
Well, this was a week. They had basically a week's worth of consulting with me on site. I spent some long hours that week too, because there were some features that weren't out of the box that I had to create for them through the customization. But it was during that week time.
Wow, so all that in 1 week, it sounds like just 1 week's time, they really were able to use what you gave them in that 1 week's time for 3 different type of component models, and then I think you said 40-something applications. Is that a subset of their whole applications, or what?
Yeah, it's just a subset. It was to get them going with the tool. So part of it, the other part of it was mentoring them how to use the tool. So that's what they had purchased. They wanted me to train them on the use of it, and then give them some guidance on how to kind of a usage model, how to use the tool properly, so that they get the best benefit out of it. So that was really the main goal of me being on site and helping them with that. So we demonstrated that with the test.
And Steve, I know you mentioned before to me where they had sent a message to you saying that they were very happy and that they were up and running. So I'm assuming the enablement or the training that you gave them actually worked, because otherwise they wouldn't be happy and up and running. So that's a great story. For sharing that with us.
Thanks.
All right, great. Well, thank you for joining us today. I know we're about out of time, so I really appreciate your coming and sharing this exciting story with us, and hopefully other customers will benefit understanding how we can help them out. So thanks again. I appreciate your time, and Daryl, thank you for joining as well, and we'll see you again soon.
All right.
Bye now.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.